under fading skies. Tattered flags waving dreams in our eyes. The crowds roar like a storm on the wind. We're the underdogs fighting again.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stateside Footy's Sunday doubleheader. The Watchalongs today, obviously starting in about 5 minutes, Inter Miami versus PSG in the FIFA Club World Cup, and later tonight, U.S. men's national team versus Costa Rica in the Gold Cup quarterfinals. But we begin today, obviously, in the FIFA Club World Cup. Inter Miami versus PSG, and let me tell you, I'm absolutely fired up for this one because Inter Miami has defied all odds as Major League Soccer, one of Major League Soccer's representatives, by not only getting the first win by an MLS side, but also advancing to the knockout rounds, which is not something that has happened since the inception of what we consider the modern-day FIFA Club World Cup. Now, the interesting thing, hold on, let's backtrack real quick. Make sure you hit your like and subscribe buttons because we are on a race to 1,000 subs, and every single milestone that we hit, whether that be 500, 1,000, 1,500, whatever the case may be, I personally am going to be giving a jersey giveaway, a kit of your choice, whatever that may be. That's what I do to take care of the subs. This is a U.S. soccer community, and I like taking care of those who take care of me. All right, since that's out of the way, let's get into it because obviously there was a lot of brouhaha surrounding Inter Miami's inclusion in the 2025 FIFA World Cup. Obviously, they didn't earn their way into this one. They did not win the U.S. Open Cup. They did not win MLS Cup. They did not win CONCACAF Champions League. Essentially, what they did last season was win the Supporter Shield, and that was enough for FIFA and Infantino to include them in this competition. And there was a lot of people calling bullshit on Inter Miami's inclusion. But that being said, when you look at how the group stage has played out, Inter Miami has earned their way into the knockout rounds, and I believe they did it on 5 points. Along with Palmeiras of Brazil, both of those teams move on to the knockout rounds as Porto and Al Ahly go out with 2 points. Now, when you look at PSG, they top Group B with 6 points, and they top Group B with a goal differential of 5 compared to Botafogo, who also advanced, and of course, Atletico Madrid and the Seattle Sounders are out. So here we are now in the round of 16 at the Club World Cup, and now it's going to be Inter Miami versus PSG. And let's go ahead and take a look at the starting 11 for Inter Miami. They're going to come out in a 4-4-2, and we got to start with their goalkeeper Ustari, who has had just an unbelievable Club World Cup, the group stage. His ability. And his ability to make key saves in big moments is something that has allowed Miami to get here. Right, there is something to say about goalkeepers getting hot at the right time, and the 38-year-old has certainly came correct in this Club World Cup. At right back, it's going to be Wagner, followed by the center back pairing of Falcone and Allen. On the left-hand side, it'll be the veteran Jordi Alba. The midfield four is going to be Allende on the right-hand side with a center mid pairing of Redondo and Busquets. Obviously, Sergio is the 6 right here, but he also plays a little forward. But that being said, left side is going to be Segovia. The primary striker is going to be Luis Suarez, and that false 9 striker /10 obviously is going to be Leo Messi. And obviously everything kind of pivots off of Leo Messi. And so the question is, number one, is Leo Messi going to be able to actually do Leo Messi things against what I consider the best team in Europe, PSG, right? Are they going to be able to take advantage of switches, being able to find space? Is Messi going to have, be able to find space to create, whether that be a distribution or get a shot off? That's going to be the big if on this one. For the defending European champions, PSG, it looks like they're going to be playing in a 4-3-1-2. Starting in goal is going to be Donnarumma, who is absolutely brilliant in net. On the right-hand side, it's going to be Hakimi. The center back pairing of Marquinhos and Pacho, and at left back is going to be Mendes. The midfield three, Ruiz will be on the right side with Vitinha playing centrally, and then Neves on the left. Their number 10 today, their cam is going to be Desiree Douy, and the striker pairings are going to be Varashila and Bradley Barcolo. So very interesting starting lineup for PSG. And I guess the question that I have for you guys out there, first and foremost, is Miami going to be able to hang with PSG today? I would think that we both agree that it's probably going to end up being PSG that's going to advance. But the question is can Inter Miami continue to play forward front foot football against a team that obviously did the bulk of its damage in the Champions League this year against obviously far better talent. But what kind of impact is Leo Messi going to be able to have today? For me, that's going to be equally his opponent. So let's go ahead and get out to Atlanta, and it looks like they have kicked off already from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and it's going to be PSG in possession. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button, guys, because we have watch-alongs all summer long, including the semifinals of the Club World Cup, and then also Gold Cup finals as well, too, as the U.S. men's national team progresses. And now here's Allende down the right-hand side, and he's going to be trapped between 2 PSG defenders, and that ball is going to get ripped, and now PSG will try to play forward. And it looks like it's going to be Ruiz past the halfway line. That ball is going to try to get played forward to Bradley Barcola, but it's going to be tipped away. And here's Hakimi on the right-hand touchline. That's going to be passed into Ruiz. Ruiz trying to get in the box. That's going to be deflected as Suarez makes an attempt to get it. But that's going to be deflected back. And it looks like PSG here will retain possession as Marquinhos will pick it up. And here's Vitinha. And so far, Miami's back line has been compact. As you see, two organized lines of 4 as PSG is trying to find their way in. As that ball is going to get played forward on the outside. As they cut into the box, sliding, save right there. Beautiful save on Bradley Barcolo right there. As PSG worked that in absolutely brilliant. And it looked like it was Varashila right there that made that drive into the box. As that ball is going to get played out wide. Up the left-hand side. Looks like it's Desiree Doué right here. And then there's going to be a whistle. And it looks like it's going to be a free kick as Desiree Doué hits the turf. And it looks like it was Wagnight right there. And it certainly was. And so now PSG will have their first free kick from just outside the 18-yard box at the right angle. How's it going, Dan? I hope you're well. Great having you along here. And so we're almost getting set here for this free kick. Standing over this, it looks like it's going to be Vitinha and Hakimi. PSG is just so goddamn good. As there's the whistle, as the referee's trying to organize. There's the whistle. As here's the in-swinger to the back post. Oh! Oh! João Neves at the far post with the header. Past Ustare. 5 minutes in. PSG on the free kick. Puts their first one past. And it was Vitinha. Oh, and it will hit Neves at the back post. But the question was Ruiz lined up offside to begin with? As that one came through, it looked like Fabian Ruiz might have been lined up offsides to begin with. And so I'm sure they're going to check this one. And the goal will stand. And Ustare is going to play this one deep, headed forward. And it looks like Inter Miami now will retain possession, as it looked like PSG had taken that one away. But that being said, goal stands here at 6.5 minutes here in the first half. And there's head coach Luis Enrique celebrating PSG's first Champions League. So as we're 6 minutes in, the question has already been answered. Like, number one, how quickly was PSG going to score, and whether or not Inter Miami was going to be able to hang with this PSG crew. And obviously that one was answered quite well. As here's Vitinha now trying to cut up the left-hand side. As that ball is going to get played into Doué. But right there is Falcone. And Falcone did a very good job of trapping that ball as it goes out to the end line. And I believe this is going to be a Miami goal kick, and it certainly will. As Javier Mariscano, Inter Miami's head coach, is trying to figure out a way for Inter Miami to get back into this one. But here's Harshash Hakimi going to try to play this one forward. As Neves will play this back to Pacho, who automatically goes left, but that was a bad weighted pass. And Miami's going to get possession, but it's automatically ripped by Neves. As there's the switch to the right-hand side to Hakimi. Nice ball movement right here. As here's Varashila, who's going to try to play this one in. Here's Ruiz. Ruiz cuts, plays it all the way back to Vitinha, to Barcola. But it was tipped a little too far, and now here's Inter Miami now on the break. As Messi will play this to Hollande. That's going to get tipped away by Pacho. And here comes PSG now, playing across the midfield line. And Barcola will lay this off to Vitinha, all the way out to Varashila on the left-hand touchline. As Vitinha will collect everything. Nice little 1-2 with João Neves in the midfield, but that's going to get played all the way back now to William Pacho. That's Bradley Barcola on the right-hand touchline. Will play this back off to Marquinhos. And Pacho will play this up the left-hand side. And that ball's going to get played all the way into Ruiz. Touch it off to Desiree Doué. Doué to Vitinha. As Vitinha is going to try to hold. All the way down now to Marquinhos, who plays it to Hakimi on the right-hand side. Hakimi. And that's going to have to play all the way back to Marquinhos. And it looks like PSG will reset here. On the ground now is Varashila. Oh, and it looked like Weingart right there got him in the face, not intentionally, with a little slap. And, obviously Varashil is on the turf right now acting like he got shot in the face. What I will say is that just by Inter Miami getting to the round of 16 here in the Club World Cup, I think it does show the capability of Major League Soccer sides. And I understand, right? Outside of the U.S., those that don't necessarily pay attention probably assumes that it's still on the same level of when David Beckham came, but that is the farthest from the truth. Major League Soccer sides have seen increased revenue to the point now where club owners are billionaires. Everyone has a training facility, an academy, or a soccer-specific stadium. So they've really come into the 22nd century as far as football sides. But it's also the willingness to spend money. And as Inter Miami has shown, especially with the acquirement of Suarez, Messi, Busquets, and Alba, they are willing to make that financial commitment. And that's a nice little spot right there. Coming in as Bradley Barcola, but that's going to get tipped away. And Inter Miami now will try to hold possession, something that they've had a hard time doing in this first half. Have yet to really attack outside of their own half. As Ustari now is under pressure, as that ball's going to try to get forward. And it looks like Suarez will play this down. And Alba, as that's going to get tipped away by Hakimi, so it'll be a Miami throw-in on the right-hand side. As Jordi Alba was looking for Segovia, but it looks like Arash Hakimi was right there to tip that one out. As Inter Miami is trying to play it, and Segovia loses possession now. And now all of a sudden, Inter Miami will play this back to Donnarumma. And Miami will try to press. But of course, PSG's passing, just their overall team passing is so clean, so crisp. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how Tottenham Hotspur do in the Super Cup. That ball's going to get laid forward to Barcola. Good play right there by Jordi Alba. And that ball's going to get tipped forward right there by Desiree Doué, but it goes past the end line and out for an Inter Miami goal kick. So, right now Miami is not really doing well to the PSG press. No matter where they're at, trying to play through the central, there's always going to be two PSG shirts right there. There's no place for Miami to attack. As here's Suarez. Suarez is going to play this up the right-hand side. It looks like it's Messi. Messi's going to lay this off to Redondo. Redondo's going to play it back to Falcone. Falcone under pressure, and he leaves it out there to Allen, who moves it all the way out to Jordi Alba on the left-hand side. Right there is Hakimi right in his face. As now he's going to have to play this one back, and Allen now is just going to try to boot this up the right-hand side. But tracking back is Mendes, so PSG will retain possession. So as quickly as PSG got possession, quickly did PSG recover. And now all of a sudden Inter Miami has possession, but Suarez can't hold on to that pass. Quickly in possession to PSG. And here's Marquinhos. Plays it to Pacho. Now here's Mendes. And now it's going to be Vitinha. As Vitinha is looking for an outlet, and he finds one in Marquinhos up the right-hand side. Here's Achraf Hakimi, who's going to lay this one back to Marquinhos. They are going to try to reset here. I'll give credit to Inter Miami. They're going to play hard today. And that ball is going to find Douglas Ruiz in the box. And that's going to get out, and it looks like Ruiz was the last to touch it. Excuse me, Fabian Ruiz, not Douglas. Anyway, that's going to be an Inter Miami. Oh, no, it's not going to be a goal kick. They're going to say this is a corner. And so Desiree Doué will take this corner from the left-hand side. The last time we saw PSG on a set piece, they scored at the far post. Here's Doué's in-swinger. Good ball. Hitting off a Barcola to the back post. And they score again! Oh, and they're going to whistle this offside as Bradley Barcolo heads the in-swinger that was just way out, but he finds Fabian Ruiz, who was very, very, very offside. And that was a quick call right there from the line judge right there, who has his flag up. So PSG gets their second goal wiped out because Ruiz was offside. And as Inter Miami try to play it off the back, it looks like Hakimi will have one deflected back out past the end line. So it'll be another goal kick. But boy, oh boy, man. On set pieces, my PSG has been absolutely deadly. So Ustari's going to play this one forward. And PSG will retake possession quickly. As Mendes will play it up to the left-hand side, it's going to be Varashila to Vitinhos. Here's Marquinhos. Plays it over to Hakimi on the right-hand side. Plays it in. Here's Neves. Plays it back to Pacho, and it'll be in control of with Vitinha. As Leo Messi right there was all over Vitinha, but that's a nice little through ball. Here's Desiree Doué into the box. Here's Ruiz, and that's going to get deflected and out of play. So it's waves. It's PSG wave after wave. As they're replaying the set piece there, you can see Fabian Ruiz was 2 lengths offsides. But now all of a sudden there's an Inter Miami player down on the field. And it looks like it might be Noah Allen, who is holding his hamstring. The physios are out. And we'll get back to you in just a second. So here we are now, really in the not even at the 20th minute, and it's been all PSG. It's obvious right now that Inter Miami has to figure out something, because not only are they trapped on the touchlines, but they're also trapped in their own half. They don't necessarily have that fluidity or that speed 1v1 to try to play out of it. So it's going to have to take some creation here between their midfield three of Busquets, Redondo, and Messi here. But that being said, you can also try to hit him quick on the switches. But again, this is going to have to be a little bit more like Inter Miami at the very least is going to have to match PSG's aggression here. And it looks like Allen is up. He is limping. And it looks like Inter Miami, yep, they're going to make a substitution. So coming off now is going to be Noah Allen. And coming in for Inter Miami will be Aviles. So it's going to be a like-for-like substitution at the center back position. This is going to be interesting. This one is going to be a very interesting proposition, as actually Aviles will now swap with Falcon. So Falcon will be at the left center back position as Aviles will move to the right-hand side. So as play is resumed, as the ball plays all the way back to Donnarumma, as Pacho will play it now to Mendes. Mendes is going to be racing forward. Nice little touch pass, but it's going to be intercepted right there by Redondo. But there is a whistle on the turf, and it's going to be a yellow card. And it looked like this one was going to be against Aviles. Yep, it sure was. Maybe a little late, a late challenge there by Aviles. So as quick as he has come into this match, he has got himself a nice little yellow card. And this is probably not something that Inter Miami needed at this stage. Not even 20 minutes in. PSG has been on the front foot the entire match. And it looks like Inter Miami has been reduced to, essentially being far more compact, essentially playing in a low block and using the counterattack as a means to get forward. But yeah, PSG has been all over it. As Neves will play this one all the way to the left. Here's Desiree Doué. Doué is going to move this over to the right-hand side to Barcola, who tips it in. Here's Barcola playing out to Ruiz. Played it into the box. Here's Barcola. Right-hand side. Dumps it off to Hakimi, who takes a shot, but it's going to get deflected off of Falcone. And it looks like it was Redondo that will just dump it out. And it looks like it's going to be a PSG corner as Desiree Doué will set up on the right-hand side. As this one's going to play short. Here's Doué. Doué, 1v1, crosses in. There's the ball up, and that's going to get headed out. But right there was Vitinha who puts one on, but it was offside. There's the offside flag. And again, and it was Desiree Doué who didn't get back onside from the incept. That wouldn't have been a goal regardless. So here's Falcone, who's got to play this one back on the goalkeeper, and Ustari is going to try to get up there as quick as possible. That's going to get headed forward and back, but I think there's a whistle. It is, and Ustari is down, the goalkeeper. He, as he was getting rid of it, it looked like he got hammered by Barcola. As we'll watch this replay, sure enough, yeah, Barcola came in knee on knee with Ustari's kicking leg. And I don't know, man. That was definitely late, but I don't know if his momentum took him into Ustari's knee. And again, this is the worst case situation now, as Inter Miami has already lost one of their center backs, Noah Allen, with Thomas Aviles, who came in and automatically got a yellow. And now Ustari is down, their veteran goalkeeper, but it looks like he's staying in. He's definitely limping, though. And he's going to play this one up the left-hand side to Jordi Alba. Intercepted by Hakimi. Hakimi's ball is going to get deflected up. As João Neves will make the touch, and Vitinha will go left. Here's Varashila. And Vitinha is going to have to play this one back as Mendes will track back. Here's Desiree Doué on the left-hand side. He's going to try to cut in, lays it off to Vitinha, and Doué makes his run. But that's played back to Pacho. Pacho's going to have to play it back to Marquinhos and over on the right-hand side to Hakimi. Yeah. Hakimi goes centrally to Ruiz, and automatically it gets played back to Marquinhos. So here's Vitinha now. If Vitinha is going to play this one, it's a switch to the left-hand side. Here's Doué. Doué 1v1. Plays it to Varashila, who shoots. Ooh. And it just missed the far post. As Doué finds him, Varashila on the left, and he took an absolute beautiful rip. That was an absolute cracker, and it just goes wide of the far post. As Inter Miami now quickly will try to play this one out. And Segovia automatically loses the ball. So here comes Inter Miami again. Excuse me, here comes PSG. Here's Mendes. Up the left-hand side, it's going to be Varashila again. 1v1. Tries to play around him, and he does. Cuts in. As Doué now. Ooh. And there's the turnover. So here comes Inter Miami. It's Leo Messi who plays it forward. Suarez over to Segovia. Segovia. He needed to hit the overlap. Here's Segovia. He's going to play it to the right-hand side. That ball's going to get deflected and out for an Inter Miami throw-in. As that ball should have actually hit the overlap because Jordi Alba was coming up the left-hand side and he had nothing but space. But instead, Segovia goes right to Alande, who was 1v1 against Mendes. And that ball gets deflected out. But this is what I'm talking about, right? The pressure has Inter Miami not playing not necessarily playing smart football. And there's, of course, is the interception. And now here comes Barashila racing down the left-hand side. Cuts in, and there's a whistle. And, yeah, that's going to be against Wagner, who essentially just put out its leg right there. And now there's going to be another free kick. You know, not exactly the same spot as when they scored their first goal, but pretty damn close. As Inter Miami is going to have to pay attention to that back post, because that's exactly where, you know, Vitinha is going to be looking for. Last time it was João Neves on the header. As Sergio Busquets is playing long. And that ball's going to be shot and then deflected all the way back now. And it looks like it's going to be their goalkeeper, Donnarumma, to come out to play it. 25 minutes in now. 26 minutes in. PSG's leading 1-0, but so far it's really been all PSG up to this point. Inter Miami has only had one opportunity where they can successfully hold possession in PSG's territory. So here's Desiree Dewey on the left-hand touchline, who's going to play this forward. Looks like it's going to be Mendes. Mendes will play it to Ruiz. That ball's going to get tipped away and headed out. As Suarez finds Messi. Messi turns up the pitch, plays it forward, and it's going to be Allende up the right-hand touch side. Here's Allende. That ball's going to get tipped into the box. Oh, good defense right there. Very good defense, and it looked like it was João Neves who kept Segovia from that deflection in the box. And Inter Miami PSG will have possession. As this ball's going to get played back to Vitinha, who quickly moves it up the left-hand side. Here's Ruiz. And he's going to play this out right. It's Marquinhos. That ball's going to get switched to the left-hand side, and there's Varashila. 1v1 in the box. Cuts. Varashila shoots, and that's going to get deflected out off the goalkeeper, Ustare. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That was such a great move of Varashila on that left-hand side, beating Wagner right there, 1v1. And you can just see the technical ability of PSG. It's just different. It's just unbelievably different. So here's the in-swinger. That ball's going to get played way too long, and it will get out for an Inter Miami throw-in. Man. Now on the one hand, right? So Inter Miami is built well for Major League Soccer, and of course, Major League Soccer is not, the Premier League. It's not even Ligue 1, right? But then again, PSG isn't even built for Ligue 1. They're better than anything Ligue 1 can put out, right? So, if you're looking for comparisons for Major League Soccer, I would probably say the Dutch Eredivisie seems about right. As far as skill level, now I would probably assume teams like Ajax, teams like PSV would probably torch even some of the best Major League Soccer teams. But overall, when you look at quality, it seems to be on point. As Inter Miami now will try to play this out the back. As Neves will play this forward, but it gets tipped away. As Mendes will play this forward off the left-hand side. Here's Dewey. Dewey plays it to João Neves. Neves will go right. Here's Hakimi. Nice little tip forward. Here's Barcolo. He will keep possession. And now he's going to try to play out of a 1v2. Here's Hakimi, who's going to play this one into the box. It's going to get deflected out. But there's Neves, who immediately goes left. Varashila. Oh, nice play by Mendes. That's going to get played to the right. Here's Hakimi. And that ball's going to get taken away as Inter Miami has to figure out a way to play this one out. And it's Jordi Alba, back deep, who's going to try to chip this forward. And it's Redondo. And it looks like there's a whistle. and Inter Miami will have a free kick deep. So maybe a little pressure has been taken off. I doubt it. But one of the things that I will say about Major League Soccer is that it's night and day better than it was even 10 years ago. And 10 years ago was the first sign that Major League Soccer was going to be able to hang on an international level. And you see this by the way that they play in their own continental. And there's a shot, that goes wide by Fabian Ruiz right there as Inter Miami quickly took the ball away and got within shooting distance. But once you started seeing the results of Major League Soccer teams in their continental championship, which is their own Champions League, which is the CONCACAF Champions League. And of course, CONCACAF is North American, South American, Caribbean. When you started seeing the results, it let you know that Major League Soccer, at least in North America, was going to be able to hang and compete. Now, Liga MX's teams routinely dusted them in the final, but you saw the progression, which came to a point in 2022 when the Seattle Sounders won the CONCACAF Champions League, which was the first MLS team to do it in its, I guess you can say, in its modern era. But routinely, you see MLS teams getting to finals, and it shows you that that they can hang with the best of Mexico, and I think that is a bench line. And when we see MLS teams in these competitions, and again, Miami being the standard bearer of getting out of the group, it just lets you know where Major League Soccer teams are in, I guess you can say, in the scale of a global style tournament. As PSG will take possession back, and it looks like it's going to be Fabian Ruiz who's going to play it to Barcolo, who immediately goes back to Ruiz. Centrally, it's Vitinha. Vitinha is going to try to go deep, and it's going to be Hakimi. Oh, that's going to be taken away right there, and I think that was Jordi Alba who stripped Hakimi of the ball, and now Alba will play it forward. Quickly headed back, and it's going to be Redondo up the right-hand side. Now Messi will slow it down. Here's Messi. Redondo plays it back to Falcone, and now Falcone's in trouble as the PSV press is just relentless. And they just can't get forward. And that's played all the way back to Astare, who's under pressure. But he finds Busquets, and there's the outlet. As Messi will tip this forward up the right-hand side. And that was quickly taken away by Vitinha, who was 1v1 against Allende, and now there's two players down on the turf for both Inter Miami and PSG, and it looks like it's going to be. Yep, it's going to be Pacho and Allende, but they're both up now. And, one of the things that I will say when it comes to Major League Soccer teams is now that the infrastructure is there, and their owners are not just multimillionaires, but billionaires. It's two things are going to happen that will get a Major League Soccer ahead. Number one, they have to go to the FIFA calendar, which is August through May. That ball's going to get played forward. 1v1 against the keeper. Oh, that was a nice deflection right there as it looked like Mendes beat the keeper, and it's offsides. If Major League Soccer would go to a FIFA calendar, which is, essentially the calendar everybody in Europe plays under, it's going to allow Major League Soccer teams to line up with the rest of the world. But the second thing is they're going to have to raise the salary cap. And I scream this from the rooftop here, is that, their salary cap for last season was like, $5.25 million. That's not including DP salaries. That's just the salary cap for each team. And that has to go up, because right now, if Major League Soccer teams wanted to try to bring in loans from Europe, they wouldn't be able to do it. But it would also open the door for bigger transfers, which is something that Major League Soccer has yet to been able to replicate. Maybe the odd player here and there, your Leo Messi's, but for the most part, you're not seeing big transfers from big European leagues. It rarely happens. As Inter Miami now will try to take this away, and then quickly João Neves will take that one away from Suarez, and there's a whistle. As we have, there's Derma, big up, bud. And we have Wayne Bonner. Sup, everyone? Hope you're all well. I am doing well, Wayne. Good to have you along here. And, that's as that ball's going to get tipped out, and I think this is going to be a corner for PSG. But that being said, those two things would, if those two things aligned up, you would see deeper MLS squads, which is something that, like when you think about EPL squads and you think about the competitions, the 4 competitions in which they play, they have deep squads and enough rotation where they're going to be able to withstand those competitions. As for Major League Soccer, they don't. Not enough squad depth because, again, the salary cap is so low that they have to prioritize, who and where they have to spend that money. And it's unfortunate, but, my hope is that after the 2026 World Cup comes and goes, because it's at that point that Messi will probably depart. Major League Soccer is going to have to do something to ensure that those fans that came in for Messi stay with Major League Soccer. And the only way that you can do it is if you can ensure that every team is at least going to be able to bring in, much better talent at the rate that, they're currently not seeing right now. And it looks like Barashil is down on the turf. I think he acted like he got shot as somebody stepped on his foot. But what I liked about this tournament is that a lot of people thought that this Club World Cup was an afterthought, but then you see some of the crowds that have shown up to it, especially those South American crowds. The big European teams will draw a crowd, but that being said, man, when you see River Plate and you see Boca Juniors playing, as that ball's going to get swinged in, headed forward, it's actually headed away, but there's a whistle, so it'll be a Miami possession. But when you see these crowds, it lets you know that, a lot of teams definitely take it seriously, and the fans are, coming out in droves to watch this. So it's me personally, I think the Club World Cup has been a success. As that ball is going to be taken away by PSG, and they'll quickly try to hit on the counter. As that ball is back to Marquinhos, who's going to play this one forward. And Desiree Doué was onside and was all alone, but that ball was too far over his head for him to bring that one in. As Inter Miami is going to try to get this one forward, but on the right-hand touchline, Allende had to play it back to Wignet, who automatically gets down to the turf. So it'll be a Inter Miami, free kick right here. So we're 38 minutes in, and we've only seen Inter Miami get forward once. And it just goes to show you that the pace, the skill. Oh, that ball is going to be taken away. Here's Barcolo. Barcolo lays it off. Here's Fabian Ruiz. Oh, he passed it over. And it's João Neves again, his second of the match. And the press, the PSG press, has created the turnover high up the pitch. Barcolo laid it off. And it was Fabian Ruiz, that touch from Barcolo. And Ruiz was onside, who played it right across the face of the goal mouth to João Neves, who was there. And that was an easy tap in right there. 2-0 PSG. And we were wondering when this was going to get broken open, and there it is right there. And I believe we're in the 39th minute, so we're about 6 minutes away. 6 minutes away, 7 minutes away from the halftime, and now PSG leads 2-0. And and that was just something Miami could not avoid right there. They just cannot. And that ball's going to get played all the way back, and that's going to get chipped in and out by Falcone. Oh, no, it was actually kept in by Suarez. And now PSG will try to play it out of the back. But here's Mendes right here up the left-hand side, and he's automatically going to go forward. Here's Desiree Doué, who lays it off to Vitinha, who's going to play it up the left-hand side. And that ball is taken away right there. Wow. As Wingak's going to have to play this all the way back. As Alvilas will step up and then automatically taken away by PSG. And so PSG will reset here. But no trouble playing out of the back for PSG. They get it across the midway line as quick as possible. And that ball is going to get deflected out by Jordi Alba. But yeah, that was that was Falcone. And that goal started because of the pass back to Falcone. It was not quick. A little slow right there, as that's going to get tipped away. Can Inter Miami do something with this? Nope. That ball, his back pocket is picked. And Inter Miami will keep possession. Nope. There's a whistle. It goes to PSG. And because of the pace of that back path, it allowed essentially Bradley Barcolo to step in and pick the back pocket of Falcone. And he immediately turns and goes up the pitch. But it was Fabian Ruiz who came around the right-hand corner, and he was able to lay this one off to Ruiz. And, of course, João Neves comes streaking down the middle of the 18-yard box. 1v1 alone, and it was just a tap-in. Very, very good goal right there for PSG. And PSG, the relentlessness of PSG, Inter Miami has no answer to this. Every time Miami gains possession, there is at least one PSG player in the face of that ball handler. It's a little expected. So here's Pacho sitting on the ball as Fabian Ruiz now will play it back to Marquinhos on the right-hand side. Here's Achraf Hakimi, who's got to play it into Pacho. As Inter Miami is now starting to press, as Vitinho will play it up to Mendes. Here comes Mendes racing up the left-hand side. Mendes again is going to try to kick this one forward, and I think there's going to be a whistle right there. It looks like it's going to be against Wegnet, and there's the yellow. It's coming out. And he just literally that was a non-soccer tackle right there. That was just, this dude's really super quick, so I'm gonna body check him out of bounds. So this will be a free kick right here. 42 and a half minutes have gone by here in the first half. PSG leads 2-0, and it's literally been all PSG. As here's João Neves. He has been absolutely brilliant today. 2 goals so far. PSG's only 2. As Pacho, that ball gets played back to Pacho, who quickly swings it out to Mendes. Desiree Dua on the left-hand touchline. He's going to play it in from Vitinha. Vitinha is now going to go all the way to the right. It's Hakimi. As Hakimi will play this in. Tipped away. And it's Desiree Due. As that ball is going to get tipped away. And Miami will quickly try to play it forward, but it's intercepted. Holy. As it doesn't necessarily matter. PSG has clogged all the passing lanes. Inter Miami just has they have been stuck in their own half for most of this first half, with the exception of 2 opportunities. But no shots on goal for Inter Miami, as that ball is going to get laid forward to Due. Due is going to play this across. Oh, it's a goal. And I think that might have been an own goal. I think that might have been off Thomas Aviles. As we'll check this one out. So that goes all the way down to Hakimi. Oh, it might be offside. And it was off of so here's Ruiz was offside, as that ball from Hakimi was laid off for Desiree Due, who puts a cross in. And I think this one went off of Aviles. Oh, yeah, it was. It was off Aviles' hand. But the question was Fabian Ruiz offside again? They're going to have to look at this one, because as that ball was laid forward, no, they're going to say the goal stands. So now it's 3-0. Paris Saint-Germain. So Thomas Vilas replaces Noah Allen, gets an automatic yellow card on a late tackle, and now has given up an own goal. 3 minutes of stoppage time. As there was a whistle, and I believe this is going to be a free kick to Inter Miami. And that ball is going to get played forward, trying to find, looks like it was Messi. No, it was Lalande. But nonetheless, as PSG will take possession here. As that ball is going to get played all the way up the left-hand side. Nice switch into Varashila. But Varashila's in the box. Nice play by Wignet to take that ball away. As here's Redondo. Redondo will play this forward. A little too far forward. And it's going to be taken away by PSG. Here's Bradley Barcolo on the right-hand side. Lays it off for Hakimi. As Ruiz lays it off to Vitinha. Vitinha in traffic. As Neves plays this one back. And it looks like PSG now has kind of laid off maybe a little bit off the gas because they're not necessarily passing with intention. It almost just feels like they're playing a game of keep away. But there's Bettini off the left-hand side. That's a nice switch, but yeah, it gets way, 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 way forward and out. And that will be a throw-in for Inter Miami. As we are pretty much close now to halftime. As here's Wignet. We'll throw this one in. It's going to be Alande, who's trying to get around the corner, but that ball's picked. And PSG will retain possession. As Bettini will play this all the way to the right side to Hakimi. Plays it in to Ruiz. And now PSG will just hold. As we're 2 minutes into stoppage time, 1 minute away from halftime. As this match has pretty much been decided here in the first half, as PSG has put 3 past Inter Miami. 2 by Neves, one an own goal. As that ball's played into the box to Barcolo. Barcolo lays it off. Shoots. Oh, that hit. Oh, it goes in. Oh, and it's Ashraf Hakimi for number 4. And this has been unbelievable. 4 first half goals now for PSG. And it looked like it was Vitinha who finds Bradley Barcolo, who lays it off to Hakimi. That gets deflected off the crossbar. And it was Hakimi that collected his own rebound and put it in for number 4. Ooh. And what's funny is on the original shot, it actually deflected off of Avila's hand again, then deflected off Ustari to the crossbar, but it came right back down to Hakimi, who tapped it in for number 4. And it looks like we're going to go to the half now. And it is indeed halftime here in Atlanta. Well, that was fun. I think we all knew exactly how this one was going to play out. Inter Miami, unbelievable, man. I will say that, now granted, is Inter Miami on the same wavelength of Inter Milan? No. But that being said, the results are eerily identical. As PSG has essentially just done whatever they want. The interesting thing, though, is that the domination in the press, and they have taken every route away from Inter Miami. And again, they've only gotten up the pitch twice in that first half. No shots on goal, no creativity, and again, because I don't think I've ever seen the pace in which a team applies a mid block, because again, those passing lanes are taken away, and Inter Miami can't play it forward via their midfield 3. And then what they'll do is they'll set traps on the touch lines. And unfortunately, Inter Miami can't play it back without potential interception. And there's just no outlet. There's no outlet pass. And so unfortunately, PSG, I'd be willing to look at these. I want to look at these halftime stats. I'd be willing to see the interceptions on this one. And let's get into it. So let's get into possession stats. PSG holds a 73-27 ball possession. They lead the XG battle 1.70 to 0. 10 total shots, 6 on target, 6 big chances, and of course, Inter Miami has yet to get their first. Accurate passes 340 to 107. Fouls committed 8 for Inter Miami, 6 for PSG, and of course, they hold the corner battle 4-0. Let's see. And of course, Miami has 0 shots. And the interesting thing, though, is shots inside the box. PSG has 7. That's interesting. Let's see. Passes. Let's see. 360 to 132 in their own half. 100 to 92. Passes in the opposition half. 240 for PSG. Only 15 for Inter Miami. Accurate long balls, 21 for PSG, 10 Inter Miami, and Miami has no accurate crosses. Touches in the opposition box, 26 to none, 26-0. Here we go, right here. So tackles 1, PSG 7, Inter Miami 6. Interceptions 6-5, which is kind of interesting. I thought they would have double digits, but it is what it is. Blocks 1-0 Inter Miami. Clearances 6-1 and keeper saves 3-0. So Donnarumma literally has done nothing. Duels 1. Inter Miami leads that one 22-20. Ground duels 1. 19-18 PSG. Aerial duels 1. Inter Miami 4. PSG 1. And successful dribbles, that's going to be PSG 2. I don't know what to tell you, man. This was probably going to be. This was probably going to happen. So let's go ahead and get into some other scores. We'll start yesterday as I believe it was the end of the group play as Palmeiras beat Botafogo 1-0. Palmeiras actually ended up with a red card, but they still ended up holding off down a man. And Chelsea beat Benfica 4-1 as Benfica had a red card as well too. And Chelsea took advantage of that. And later today, and it looks like it's going to be Flamengo of Brazil taking on Bayern Munich. I believe that's going to be at 4:00 today. As we are starting the knockout round. So let's go ahead and get into that here in the round of 16. And actually, I beg your pardon. Actually, what yesterday's matches started off the round of 16 with Palmeiras and Chelsea advancing. So tomorrow, it's going to be Inter Milan versus Fluminense and Man City versus Al Hilal. And obviously, all teams move into the quarterfinals. And of course, PSG, obviously, it's another half still left to play, but they're up 4-0. So obviously, they have also moved on to the quarterfinal. And they will take the winner of Bayern versus Flamengo. And on Tuesday, Real Madrid versus Juventus and Dortmund versus Monterrey. The interesting thing, though, is that the quarterfinal will get started on July 4th, Independence Day. And then, of course, on July 5th, followed by the semifinal on July 8th. And then, of course, the final on Sunday. I believe that is going to be July the 13th. So we are getting very, very, very close to the conclusion of this Club World Cup. I would probably assume that teams that are involved are those players will probably go on a 2-week sabbatical and then finally catch up with their teams in their respected cities before they start their play for the 2025-2026 season. I believe all that begins in August. But, the interesting thing is the funny thing that, for those that know that I also do a lot of Tottenham content as well, too. And, of course, both Spurs and PSG will lock horns in the UEFA Super Cup to kick off the season. I believe that's going to be in Udinese. There you go. down in Italy. And the funny thing is, Spurs fans will say that because of PSG's inclusion in the Club World Cup, it's more of an extension to the end of the regular season than it would be with a preseason. They probably won't have a preseason, so that might favor Tottenham. But the interesting thing is, you can essentially say that this Club World Cup is a preseason for them, right? Because I would probably assume that once these players will go on holiday for a couple of weeks, and once they come back, I would probably assume that there's going to be some sort of scrimmage match or some sort of friendly before these two teams lock horns down in Italy. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I highly doubt that PSG is going to be rusty for this one. But I'm curious to see what you guys think. As we are getting closer to the start of the second half now, I want to remind fans to hit that like and subscribe button, because we are on a race to 1,000 subs. Once we can get to that 1,000 sub marker, we can start doing memberships, which is absolutely fantastic, which allows me to book very good guests on the podcast as well. We can do really cool membership shows, also fan shows as well too, which is something that I really want to get into. But mostly, what I like about this community is the fact that we all share the same love and wanting of U.S. soccer, whether that be Major League Soccer, whether that be the USL, and of course we're going to be talking about the promotion and relegation happening within USL coming up. Or if it's the U.S. men's national team. For me, that's what this channel is. And of course, we also do a lot of Tottenham content as well too, because I'm just a Tottenham fan, so it is what it is. But the reality, though, is that I appreciate and I'm absolutely grateful for the subs that I have and the subs that are coming. And I like to take care of people, man. I really do. And that's why every marker that I hit, whether it's 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, whatever the case may be, I am going to dip into my own pockets and make sure that you are taken care of. And it will be a kit of your choice, whether that's, Tottenham Hotspur, U.S. men's national team, whatever the case may be. I am going to take care of you guys as well too. So you make sure you hit that subscribe button, but obviously the like button is too, because we get a lot of likes. Obviously the algorithm will do what it does, and we can actually get this channel out to the masses. It'll be fun. All right, so the second half now, in this matchup, it's going to be interesting, right? So the question really is there going to be anything that Inter Miami can do? Okay, so not necessarily to score goals, because I don't know if Inter Miami is going to be capable enough to put one in the back of the net. Now, maybe PSG is going to sub off their best players, knowing that they have a 4-goal lead, and maybe just by that extension, Inter Miami will potentially get one on the board. But for the most part, can they get up? Can they actually push up the pitch and actually put themselves in goal dangerous areas? That to me is the only thing that I care about, because as of right now, it has been all PSG. No shots for Inter Miami up to this point. And the last thing you want to do if you're Inter Miami is go out absolutely destroyed by PSG. Yes, we probably assumed it was going to happen, but you actually want to have yourself a good showing, because when you think about the other MLS teams that were involved, let me pull those up real quick. When you think about those other teams that were involved, Seattle finished on no points and had a -5 goal differential. You look at LAFC, finished on 1 point and was able to get a draw, but for the most part finished with a -3 goal differential. And you look at and that was it. You look at the fact that Inter Miami not only was able to win a match, but they were able to advance on 5 points, and that means that you are the flag bearer for Major League Soccer. And yes, you understand exactly the task that was right in front of you, and it almost seemed like it was an impossible task. But you actually want to be that flag bearer for MLS, and you actually want to, be able to go out on at least on a high note. And for me, that is at least making it somewhat respectable in the second half. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how Marciano actually adjusts for this second half. Is there going to be any type of substitutions that are going to be brought in? Where do they need to make a substitution? That's the interesting thing. I actually think that their best 11 is on the pitch. So for me, I don't think I would make any changes in the second half. But what I would do is I would just try to be a little bit more aggressive. And if that means, we're going to see a yellow card wedding, okay. But, they're going to have to do a better job, because right now PSG is taking away every avenue, every path to get forward. And they have been absolutely just essentially stranded in their own half. So, for me, you're going to have to match intensity, and you're going to have to take chances. And if that means making runs, pinging balls forward, testing that back line, then do it. But that being said, this game is pretty much in hand, as PSG has a 4-goal lead. So, at this point, it's about pride. It's about representation. And we will see how this one plays out. As it looks like we are very close here to the start of the second half at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. I also think this tournament is interesting as well, too, because believe it or not, this is a dress rehearsal for the World Cup in 2026. That's exactly what this is. It's a dress rehearsal for everyone to get a good feeling of the venues in which we're going to be playing. There's still work to be done for venues of 2026, because you have to play on FIFA approved pitches. That means the width of the pitch has to be up to FIFA standards, which means, some of these stadiums are going to have to lose some of their pitch side seatings, as they can actually fit the entire pitch into the stadium. So there's still a lot of work to be done. But as far as security and as far as players getting used to these pitches, that's exactly what this Club World Cup, why it's here in 2025 and why it was designed to be here, just in case you guys were wondering. But but also it's an opportunity for the American crowd to get used to certain players that are going to be here in 2026. And I'm not talking about the diehard soccer fans of this country that obviously know these teams and these players, but it's an opportunity for even casual soccer fans of this country to come out and to watch them, or at least be able to watch them on their TV, as DAZN, I believe, is streaming this tournament for free. So here come the players now out of the locker rooms. It looks like PSG is on the field first, and of course, João Neves has scored 2, and it's pretty. It's incredibly pretty as we look at this one, and of course, João, essentially doing it from the, I guess you can say from the left mid position, but there's a lot of central movement there from Neves. Vitinha is essentially the guy that is exactly the main ball handler. I guess you can say the number 10 for PSG, and he's certainly done a very good job. As here comes Inter Miami. There's Messi, and I'm sure he understood exactly how this one was going to go. And, at the conclusion of this Club World Cup, that means all Major League Soccer teams will be, I would assume, are going to be back in their training facilities as they prepare, I believe, to head back to the MLS season. And it looks like there's going to be 2 substitutions now starting PSG's half, as Beraldo will come in. Yeah, so Marquinhos and Ruiz are out, and Lucas Beraldo and Henry, his name is, let me get his name real quick. Warren Zaire Emery will come in. As Miami will have possession to start the second half. And it'll be Falcone who will play this one back to Estare, who will lays this one off to Aviles now off the right-hand side. And Aviles will try to play this in centrally, and he finds Messi here, as Messi will play itself out as he was trying to play Jordi Alba forward, but Alba just decided to stop and play it back. And there's Segovia. Sergio Busquets is trying to play this one forward, and he certainly does, but Suarez mishandles it. And PSG will take over possession. As here's Mendes, who's going to try to play this forward. As it looks like Desiree Doué was in trouble right there. As Redondo plays it to Messi. Messi's going to have to figure something out. And he lays it off to Sergio Busquets, who's been quiet in that first half. As Busquets plays it back to Falcone, who immediately plays it out left. Here's Jordi Alba. Plays it forward to Suarez, who makes a nice little pass to Segovia. And Segovia automatically goes to Jordi Alba. And you can just see it right now. Like, nobody's getting forward for Inter Miami. No runs, no opportunities to get forward. And here's Aviles, who plays it off to Cello. Cello will play this one back, and I believe it's Redondo. Plays it over to Falcone. Falcone to Jordi Alba. Alba's going to try to play this one into Segovia. That ball gets away, and now PSG will take over. And again, when you're looking at this and you're seeing that forward line, that forward three of Inter Miami is not getting forward. Suarez is not making a run. You could see both Leo Messi and Redondo was looking forward to try to play it forward, but there was no forward run. So Inter Miami is going to have to take chances in the second half. And you can see that PSG is kind of laid off the press a little bit. They don't need to, because this game is already over. But now that Inter Miami is going to have a little bit more space, they're going to have to do themselves a favor by at least trying to take some chances here. As Vitinha will play this off, and it was Farashila who's going to continue to play through the middle of the pitch. Who's now finally going to lay this one off. And here's João Neves. Neves is going to switch to the left-hand side. Here's Mendes. Mendes going to lay it off. That pass was a little too far forward for Emery. And now Inter Miami will try to take over here. As Busquets will play it off left. Here's Jordi Alba. Alba to Segovia. And he's immediately going to go into, here's Messi. Messi's got room. Plays it forward. All the way to the right. Here comes Cello. Cello's going to play this one in. And that's going to get tipped out by Hakimi, but there's Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba's going to try to play this one centrally. It's Messi, who tips it forward. Oh! And it was Suarez who tried to tap it, but there was no power on that shot right there. As Donnarumma right there was able to clean that one up very quickly. But that was Miami's first big chance right there, as Suarez could not get anything other than a tap on that ball. But there you go. That's the perfect example of what I'm talking about, right? If they're going to give you space, then you might as well take advantage of that space. And sure enough, it looked like Leo Messi right there put a beautiful pass in to Suarez, who didn't do anything but try to tip that up right into the hands of Donnarumma. So here's Hakimi, who's going to try to switch this one to the left-hand side. And Cello is going to play this one back to his keeper. And he quickly is going to play this one out. And it looks like it's going to be, here's Messi. Messi's going to try to cut in. 1v3. And that ball is going to get taken away. So here comes PSG. And João Neves tried to play this one for Varashila, but Varashila was not in that area. So here comes Miami now, and it's Redondo. As Redondo is going to have to play this one back. to Ustari, who boots this one up the pitch. But there's Mendes right there. Here comes Vitinha. Vitinha is going to play it centrally. Nice weighted pass. Oh, and he tried to play it forward to Varashila right there. But he was nowhere in that area as Ustari comes out to clean this one up. As Messi played it off to Segovia, who immediately dumps it back to Jordi Alba, and there was Messi on the layoff. As Messi will try to get this one forward. It looks like Busquets goes all the way to the right. Here's Cello. Cello's going to play this one forward. It's Suarez. Suarez now going to lay this one off. And it's Sergio Busquets. Here's Falcon up the left-hand side. And it's Segovia playing it forward. And now Messi's going to lay this one forward. It's Jordi Alba who's going to lay this one off. It's Messi. And that ball is going to get deflected. As Messi came running into the box after he played one forward for Jordi Alba. And it was a foot race to try to get around that corner. As Jordi Alba made a cut to come back and found a streaking Leo Messi who tried to put one in. But that ball is deflected out, so it'll be Inter Miami's first corner of the match at the 51-minute mark. I want to thank all of those that are tuning in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Here's Messi now as that corner was played short. And I don't know why Segovia didn't try to go chase this one, and that ball's going to get out. And there's that play before as Messi put a nice little pass into Suarez, who couldn't corral that ball. And again, he just made a touch that popped the ball up right into the hands of Donnarumma. But as you can see now, Messi is starting to utilize some space here. So here's Mendes of PSG. The question was whether or not we're going to see Dembele. I doubt it. As here's Pacho, who plays it off to Mendes, and now Mendes is going to try to play this one forward. But there's Ustari to boot this one out off the right-hand touch line. So that's going to be a PSG throw-in here. There's Luis Enrique sitting comfortable today. So Mendes will throw this one in. And it's going to try to get forward to Zaire Emery. As that ball is going to get out. Nice play by Falcon to stop Zaire Emery from getting in front of this one. So here's the goal kick that's played all the way to the left. It's Jordi Alba. Alba will try to play it up forward to Segovia, who immediately heads it down to Redondo. Now Segovia. And that ball's going to get intercepted right there. So here comes PSG now. And it's João Neves who's going to play this one forward. It's Hakimi. 1v1 against Redondo on the right-hand touch line. And there's the turnover. Nice play by Redondo. Here comes Inter Miami now, pushing up the left-hand side. And it's Redondo. Redondo is going to lay this off to Segovia, who literally did absolutely nothing right there. What a waste of a possession. Segovia, that was absolutely lazy by Segovia. You have Redondo pushing forward, and he laid it in a perfect spot, and Segovia just essentially walked to the ball. There's Alande who plays it back to Ustari as Barcolo is chasing. Here's Jordi Alba again. Oh, there's a turnover. It was Desiree Doué who ripped it from Alba. So it's a PSG throw-in. Here's Doué who's going to play it over to Neves. Now it's Vitinha looking centrally. Here's Varashila on the left-hand side. And they're going to have to play this one back. As Vitinha will lay it off to Beraldo. Here's Hakimi. And it's going to be Neves. And Neves is just going to hold on to the ball, plays it centrally right there to Emery. And PSG is now going to cycle it through their backs here. No rush for PSG. Here's Beraldo. And Beraldo is going to try to play this up centrally, and he finds Doué, but Inter Miami right there will take the ball away. Oh, but nice block right here. So here's PSG. It's Doué. He's in traffic, and that ball is going to get tipped away to Inter Miami. As now they're going to try to play this one forward, and Hollande just gets the ball ripped. As Emery will come away with it. And it'll be back to Pacho here on the left center back position. He plays it over to Beraldo, who immediately goes to Hakimi on the right-hand side. It's Hakimi. And yeah, PSG doesn't have to do much now. They can literally just hold the ball. There's essentially no pressure right now defensively for Inter Miami. There's no want to press. So from that standpoint, they can just play keep away. And that's exactly what's happening right now. As here's Emery now, who's going to play it off to the left. It's Varashila. Plays it back into Emery. Flipped it back to Varashila now, who's going to make a nice little cut right there. And now down the left-hand side, plays it into Emery. Emery's going to cut. Here's Doué. Doué will shoot, but it's right there to Estare. And Inter Miami will try to play this quickly. It's Jordi Alba, who's got to play it back to Estare, who immediately goes to Aviles. And Aviles is going to have to play this one forward. That's taken away right there by Emery. That was quick. Here's Vitinha, who plays it centrally. It's Bradley Barcola who shoots. Ooh, and it was Ustare with the save right there. But that was a beautiful central pass. That through ball hit Barcola perfectly, who just tipped it to his left, spun, and then put a shot on net. So that'll be a corner. That'll be a corner now. Good shot there by Bradley Barcola. As Doué will play this one in. Headed up and over the crossbar right there, and it was Barcola again. And it seems like over the last 5 minutes, Barcola has been everywhere. Nice move right there, and he essentially had a wide open look, but right there was Ustare. Nice save. As Inter Miami now will be playing from the back, but there is an issue between Barcola and the ref. So Inter Miami now will play it forward, as that ball was just not a good pass to Segovia. But Segovia has been absolutely dreadful in the second half. And we're approaching 60 minutes, and there has to be some sort of resolution, because it almost feels like Segovia has given up and is just going through the motions. And if you're Marciano, the head coach of Inter Miami, you at least want somebody out there that's still going to at least try to fight, try to at least get them on the board so they avoid the clean sheet. So here's Vitinha now, who's going to play this forward. It's Doué, as Doué is going to play this a little centrally, and it's back to Vitinha now. Here's João Neves. Neves is going to lay this one back off to Vitinha, who turns around and lays it back to Pacho. And PSG will reset. Here's Doué. Flicks it forward, taken away by Inter Miami. And here comes Inter Miami on the break. It's Messi. Messi will lay this off. It's Suarez, who tried to play it back. It's Messi, who tried to turn and fire, but that ball gets taken away by Doué. And here comes PSG. That's the thing. It's like, right when that pass goes to Suarez, Suarez has to dribble and then shoot. Don't try to play it back. Be selfish. Try to get something on net. See if you can get a rebound. Nice pick right there by Redondo. As Redondo is going to play this one forward. It's going to be Alande around the corner. Beats Mendez. And now he's going to have to pull up short because he can't beat him in a foot race. As that ball's going to go centrally. Messi's going to lay it off to Suarez, who immediately gives it back to Messi. Here's Messi. And Messi's going to try to play one in, and that's going to get deflected away. Neves is going to pop this one up to Barcola. And there's a whistle. And it looked like it might have been Yep. Here comes Ousmane. Here comes Dembele. And now coming out. Looks like this might be Neves is coming out. The man who scored 2 of PSG's 4 will definitely be coming out right here. And coming onto the pitch now is Dembele, one of the best soccer players in the world now. Here comes PSG off the free kick, and it was indeed Segovia that tapped Barcolo there. So here's Dembele. I'm excited now. Dembele is one of my favorite players, so this is going to be exciting for me. Oh, that ball's taken away. That's Suarez. And he's going to lay this one off to Segovia. Segovia tried to chip it forward, but he still maintained possession. Interesting. And now he's going to play this one back to Jordi Alba. Here's Busquets. Plays it over to Aviles now. And that was the wrong pass right there. He had Chillo open on the right-hand side. Here's Jordi Alba on the left-hand side. He's going to try to play this one forward. Here's Cello on the right-hand side. Brings it in. Oh, here's Messi now. Messi shoots. Save by Donnarumma. And that's the thing, right? That's the difference is Messi's going to take a shot regardless if it's a bad angle. Nice build-up right there by taking the ball away. Identifying Cello right there, flanking down the right-hand side into the box. Way to keep possession, too, but eventually landed at Messi's feet, who beat his man to get that shot off. But here comes PSG, and it's Hakimi up the right-hand side. Deep in that ball's going to get out, though. I think this is going to be a Miami throw, and it will be. As Jordi Alba now. There's Messi as he gets around Beraldo to put a shot on net. Granted, the angle is bad, but if you're Miami, you gotta at least try to get something on net. As here comes PSG, and here's Varashila now in the box. He tries to put one on net and flies it over the far corner right there. But again, there's PSG getting down the pitch as quick as possible and, being dangerous, man. So Inter Miami we'll try to play this one out the back as this ball goes up the left-hand side. Headed forward by Beraldo. Inter Miami is going to try to keep possession. They do. Here's Busquets. And here's Redondo centrally. Now Inter Miami is going to try to run. They got room. Here's Alande. Alande tries to shoot. But that ball goes way wide left. As at least the Inter Miami fans are happy here. They're throwing up the heart hands. And, that's the thing, right? PSG is, taken off the press. There's no need at this point because they can get 4, at will. There's no resistance from Inter Miami. But that being said, up 4 goals, you don't need to constantly press. Inter Miami is not going to score 4 goals to put this one back within reach. So at this point, PSG can relax, as Emery will play this one to Barcolo on the right-hand touchline. And here's Emery. There's Dembele, who's going to lift this one over. It's going to be Hakimi. Hakimi makes the touch, but saved right there by Ustare. Nice ball forward from Dembele. That little chip forward found Hakimi, who came down and was able to get a foot on it, but Ustare was there. And here's Messi now. Messi's racing forward. 1v3. And it's Hollande who beats Mendes. Here's Hollande. And that ball did not make it across the 18-yard box. And here it comes PSG now. And PSG's got numbers. It's Dembele who's going to play this one forward. Just a little too forward. There was Bradley Barcola. Just a little too far forward on that through ball from Dembele. And now all of a sudden, this match has finally gotten somewhat exciting as both teams are able to get forward now. But obviously, 4 first-half goals have put this one out, have put this one to bed. So, but that's kind of what I wanted to see. I wanted to see at least somewhat of a back-and-forth affair. Was curious to see if Inter Miami could put some goals past PSG, but so far it's been not. Here's Cello now on the right-hand side, who's going to try to play this one in just a little too far forward for a streaking Messi. And now here comes PSG on the counter. Nice little play by Dembele to free this one. Hakimi's going to play it all the way up to Varashila. Varashila now on the left-hand side and into the box. And there's a whistle. And I think they're going to say that he was offside. He doesn't agree with it. "15 total attempts at goal. Hakimi leads PSG with 4, followed by Barcola and João Neves right there. This has been a dominant performance by PSG in many ways. And I guess that's what was expected, considering that PSG finally got the Champions League monkey off their back. And they did it in such an impressive way. So here's Varashila now down the left-hand side. And that's for me, I was actually happy to see PSG finally get over that, to get on top of the mountain. They've been so close a few different times. Had spent the money. Here's Emery trying to play himself in the box. There's Barcolo. That gets tipped and over the crossbar right there. They had been so close. They had spent the money and, had disappointing exits in, the round of 16, maybe even the quarterfinal. They did get to a final, I believe, in 2020. But regardless, so coming in now will be Luis Hernandez and Kang In. And coming off the pitch here, it looks like it's going to be Mendes. And Nuno Mendes is coming off, and Hakimi's coming off. Yeah, and Hernandez and Lee will check in. So far, no substitutions for Inter Miami. But and that's the thing, right? And they have an ownership group, that Qatari ownership group. Has not taken their foot off the gas, so to speak, as far as the finances go. And it puts them in a precarious situation, considering that Ligue 1 does not have there's a shot that's going to go wide. Nice shot right there by Desiree Doué. But they don't necessarily have the resources of a Premier League team, just considering that Ligue 1 does not necessarily have the television wherewithal to match. And so you can essentially say that PSG is operating at a loss, but they were doing this for a Champions League, a Champions League medal, and they got it done. So, you can't be happy. You can't be but anything but happy as they finally got over the mountain. But that being said, now that you saw in which the way that they operated throughout the Champions League, and you can easily tell that right now. Maybe I sound a little crazy, but I think that they're better. I think they're better than Bayern Munich, and I think that they're better than Real Madrid at the moment. The question is, how good are they compared to a team like Barcelona, Liverpool? As of right now, you can't say anything else, but they're the best team in Europe right now. But that being said, right, it's going to be interesting, right? I want to see them, play Barca. I want to see them, and I think they might have played Barca in the or was that Real Madrid? Regardless, but this team just has everything. As for Inter Miami, I would probably assume that their season's going to begin as soon as league play starts for Major League Soccer as they make that push towards the playoffs. And it looks like it's going to be Desiree Doué on the right-hand side here. And, for the rest of League On, it's going to be interesting, right? Monaco looks a little bit better. But, I don't think Marseille is going to, that's the thing. It's like, oh, that's a nice ball forward right there, but there's Hustare. I can't imagine that there's going to be too many challengers to PSV because I don't think there's any team that has the wherewithal to match them like for like as far as talent. But that being said, we have seen some outliers take the Ligue 1 title, but for the most part, it has been PSG's to lose. As far as and I think in a lot of context, the biggest reason why PSG had such a hard time winning the Champions League is the level of competition that they face outside of the Champions League, where it almost feels like they can just rotate and concentrate because they know that they have the depth and the wherewithal just to win the league or maybe the French Cups or whatever the case may be. But, they were able to get it done. That's a nice little through ball right here. It's going to be Desiree Doué who's going to hold possession. Doué is going to lay this one off. It's going to be, nice. That's Barcola. Plays through. Here's Emery. That ball's going to get taken away. Tipped up and cleared by Inter Miami. It's going to be an interesting 2025-2026 campaign. And I know that Durham and I are going to be talking about it, I believe, today at 3 as we start our Premier League podcast today. And so we're going to be there's some interesting dynamics within the Premier League. And if you are a fan of European football, you should definitely check that one out. The counter argument for why it's taken so long for PSG to potentially get that Champions League crown based on the opponent, the talent of the opponent that's in their league versus a Premier League where there's most teams are going to get beat up by each other, putting them in a precarious position when it comes to the Champions League as that ball's played forward. Alande got on the end of that header, but there was Donnarumma to make the save. Nicely worked ball up the left-hand side for Inter Miami, and it was Alande who goes 1v1 against Hernandez to get on that header, but it was right at Donnarumma. But here comes PSG now up the right-hand side. And here's Barcola into Dembele. Dembele is going to dribble forward. That ball's going to get picked, but it goes out. So I think it's going to be a PSG throw-in, and it'll be Zaire Emery. And now Inter Miami will make their first change here in the 74th minute. Coming off is Segovia, and coming on is the young American Ben Kremaski. Very good opportunity for Ben Kremaski here. The young American who is, by the way, wanted by a few European clubs, and these are the type of tournaments that you want to be in. because again, if you don't have the ability with the national team, these are the type of environments in which European agents, coaches, and teams will get to see you play, and against one of the best in the world, PSG. And if you can help this team get on the board, might do wonders for his career. So coming on the pitch now is going to be Ben Kremaski, who will take over for Segovia on the left-hand side. And immediately that ball is going to get tipped in off the throw. And I think that went off of Kremaski right there. So here's PSG's throw, and it's going to be Dembele to receive. Who lays it off to Vitinha, and Vitinha automatically goes all the way to the left-hand side. It's Varashila. He plays it into Vitinha, and Vitinha will play this one out right. It's going to be Zaire Emery. That ball's going to get forward. And I think there's a whistle. And it will be offside. Nice ball forward from Vitinha. He found Dembele. And they're going to say Dembele was offside, but Cello was there. I don't think he was offside. But that being said, we're in the 76th minute now. And so they're just going to give them whistles. As that ball is going to get played forward a little too forward as far as Sheila can't catch up to it. So it'll get out for a Miami throw. Yeah, I think that's a good conversation, really, when it comes to Premier League teams and whether or not that the competition is so good that most of those teams, whether it's an Arsenal or Liverpool, get beaten up throughout the course of the Premier League season. That by the time when it comes to Champions League knockout phase, maybe they've been through the ringer one too much. Where a team like PSG doesn't necessarily have that problem. Here's Kremaski now on the left-hand side as that ball's played back to Busquets. Here's Redondo now. That ball gets deflected. Busquets keeps possession. And that ball is going to get played centrally. Messi's going to tip this one forward. I think that'll be a Miami corner right there, as Luis Suarez was trying to get on the end of that one. Nice little tip forward right there by Messi. The question is was Miami offside right there? They're going to say no, so it'll be a corner. I think there's going to be some very interesting conversations today at 3. As that ball is going to get whipped in. He tried to play it long for Messi, and Messi will take this one. Here's Ben Kremaski. Kremaski's now going to try to play this one in. Tipped up, headed away, but right there on the backside on the right side. It's going to be Suarez who plays it in. Header. And that'll hit the back net over the crossbar. So I will say that Inter Miami has at least played a little bit better here in the second half. So here's PSG now. And here's Dembele, who came on about 10 minutes ago, and he plays this all the way to the left-hand side. Here's Varashila now coming into the box. 1v1 as he lays this one off. It's Dembele who loses sight of the ball. But right there was Vitinha to clean it up. And now PSG will hold this one in. Nice play by Dembele to Varashila to Vitinha. Vitinha will try to play it through, but was a little too early, as Inter Miami will take this one away. And now they're going to break on the counter. It's Messi to Kremaski. Here's Kremaski who's tried to play this forward. It gets deflected. Here's Kremaski now in the box. Plays it forward. Alba pops it. Messi. Ooh! Nice save by Donnarumma. As Messi got a header in, it was going to the far left corner. Good save right there. And now here comes PSG as they're looking to break forward. It's Donachila now on the left-hand side. 1v1 against Cello. as he gets into the box, as he tries to play this one over to Dembele, but it gets popped and then tipped out of bounds by Avila's. So it'll be a PSG throw-in. Nice little tip up right there by Jordi Alba, and he got messy on the end of it, but good shot. Good save right there by Donnarumma. And here's Desiree Doué, who plays this all the way back now to Bernardo Beraldo. We are in the 80th minute now, 10 minutes to play. Still 4-0 PSG. As Kramaski got in the way of that one, tried to tip it up, but it went right back to Beraldo. Here's Doué. Nice little play forward. And now Busquets will take it away from Barcola. Here's Kramaski now trying to dribble forward. And that ball gets taken away by Barcola as Kramaski got a little too much forward momentum right there. I would like to think that that's the reason why English teams struggle a lot in the Champions League. Yes, there have been outliers in Champions League winners from the Premier League, and I'm not saying that it can't be done. But when you look at the scope of Champions League winners from the start of 1990, there's a trend of it being Spanish clubs, German clubs, some English clubs, as PSG will try to work this around. It looks like it's going to be Lee, as Vitinha will play this one back to Hernandez. And here's Barashila on the left-hand side. We'll drop this back to Hernandez. And it's Vitinha. Here's Desiree Doué. That touch was just a little heavy. So here comes Kramaski now. Ben Kramaski, the young American, is going to try to play this one. As that's going to go all the way to the right. And it's Alande. As Avilas is just going to hold this ball, and because he waited too much, he had to play it back to a star right now. Good contingent of Inter Miami fans in this in Atlanta today, watching their absolute destruction. It's Suarez now. Suarez going to play this forward just a little. That was not a great touch by Suarez, but it was played out by PSG, so it'll be a throw-in for Inter Miami now. 82nd minute. Here's Redondo now. Redondo will play it over to Kramaski with space on the left-hand side. Now that was closed down, and it's Jordi Alba. Here's Redondo. And back to Redondo from Jordi Alba. And you can see Redondo is trying to play it forward, and there's just nothing. As Suarez again makes a bad touch. Taken away by Redondo. So here's Suarez. Again, bad touch, but kept in by Miami. Jordi Alba, that's going to be taken away right there. Looks like by Vitinha. It's Zaire Emery. And Kramaski's going to take it away from Zaire Emery. That's going to get out, and I believe this is going to be a corner for Inter Miami. It will be. Good hustle by Ben Kramaski, who's going to lay this one short. Nice touch in by Busquets. And it's Jordi Alba. That's going to get tipped away. And it's going to be Cello who's going to play it all the way back to his keeper. But there's a streaking Barcola. Mustari gets it away. And it looks like it's going to be an offside call. It will be. And there's Falcone checking on Lucas Hernandez. As we're approaching minute 85. Yeah, I can't say that I'm not surprised by this result. I think everyone really had a feeling. MLS versus PSG, it doesn't matter which team. This was most likely going to be the result. But, one of the disappointments, I think, and Varashila made a heavy touch, and it looks like Cello was able to pick that one. As this ball's worked all the way to the left-hand side for Kramaski. Here's Suarez, who's going to try to play this one forward as Jordi Alba's running, but he does not necessarily have that speed. And Hernandez was the one to take that one away. And that ball's deflected and out, and I do believe that's going to be a PSG throw-in. Very interesting that the only substitution for Miami was Segovia, who should have probably came out at halftime. Let's be real. Segovia was not looked very disinterested in this one. There's the switch to Barcola, but that switch was not a great pass right there. So it'll go up for an Inter Miami throw-in here. As we are approaching second half stoppage time, and I will say that Inter Miami played, had a good Club World Cup, getting a win and advancing to the knockout stages, becoming the first MLS side to advance this far. I think that in and itself should be given praise. But I will say, as there's a whistle right there, and there's going to be a free kick right outside the box, and it looks like it's going to go against. As we're looking at it, it'll be against Beraldo right there, as he stepped in front of Luis Suarez. So Messi will be on this one. But in context, considering the talent of all of these teams competing in this one, it was going to be a very tall task for any MLS side to get a win, let alone advance out of the group stages. But Inter Miami was able to do it, and there has to be some praise given to Inter Miami and their ability. But when you're going up against the reigning European champions, right? Making it close was going to be a struggle at best. So, tip your hat to Inter Miami and tip your hat to Major League Soccer, but also tip your hat to PSG, because they're just so goddamn good. So good. In every aspect of football, they're just so good. As here's Messi now. As Messi will take this a little bit centrally to the right-hand side, right outside the 18-yard box. Here's Messi, who's going to play one, and it gets deflected down to Dembele. And now PSG is going to move. It's Lee. Lee's going to play this one forward. It's Barcolo. As that touch is going to take him out left. And here's Barcola. Barcola. Oh, that's going to get taken away right there. And now here comes Inter Miami. They were actually 2v1. If that ball from Lee was on the money, that easily would have been number 5 right there. Here's Sergio Busquets, who's been quiet. That ball's going to get chipped forward, just a little too far forward. And it looks like that might have been Pacho right there, who laid it off to Donnarumma. So here comes PSG as they're trying to work this one out of the back. And it's going to go all the way to the right there. And that ball's going to go forward, and it's going to get taken away by Cello. And that's going to get tipped out, and it'll be a PSG throw-in. So we are in the 89th minute now. And there's a turnover right there. It's going to be Dembele. Dembele is going to play this one forward. Here's Varashila. And he's going to lay this one off to Vitinha. Vitinha to the right-hand side. It's Dembele. That ball gets blocked and out by Busquets. All right. As here's Lee, and Lee's going to rifle one. That's going to get deflected by Suarez. And we are now in second half stoppage time, 2 minutes. And Inter Miami will try to play this one out of the back. As that ball is going to go forward. Tip down. Here's Kramaski, but that's going to get taken away. Nice hustle by Lee. As PSG will control this one. And now PSG will work it up the right-hand side. It's Lee. Down to Vitinha, who's going to play this one down to Hernandez, who goes wide left to Varshila, who plays it forward. It's Barcola. Barcola tries to play himself in, but that's going to get tipped out to Astari now. 30 seconds left as that ball is going to quickly try to move up. And Falcone will corral it to Jordi Alba. Here's Busquets. And it's Suarez all the way out to Kramaski. And that's going to get tipped away right there by Vitinha, who played, and Pacho plays it all the way back to Donnarumma. And I think that's going to do it right there, and it is. PSG will take this one 4-0. Unbelievable performance tonight by PSG. And, you know, it's expected. It's expected. You know, the European champion versus versus an MLS side that so they did their job. They got to the knockout rounds, but it was going to be a tough task. It was going to be a tough ask of Inter Miami to try to do something in this match, and like for like, position by position, there was no edge where Inter Miami had an advantage. And I was saying it at the top of the broadcast tonight was, for me it was, was PSG going to allow Miami any sort of space that was going to allow them to get forward, right? That anchor, Leo Messi, he does need space, and it's not like this was 2012 where he can create his own space. That's not, Messi is still very good for MLS, but the reality is it's like, his Barcelona days are long gone. And so it was going to have to be a creative effort for Inter Miami just to even get forward, let alone push shots. We saw that first half, no shots on goal at all. As a matter of fact, it was, PSG literally just kept it in Miami's half the entire first half, and 4 goals going through, 2 by Neves, and there was an own goal there, and Hakimi got the 4th, and once it got to 2, it was over, really. Again, I'll just say this, that I think what Inter Miami did was essentially show that MLS is better than what their perception is globally. And I think that's important. I think that's an important statement to be made. But are they still on the level of some of the world's best? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So let's go ahead and get into the stats real quick. As we look at the final stats, possession-wise, PSG won that one 67-33. They win the XG battle 2.49 to 0.38. Total shots, 19 for PSG, 7 for Inter Miami. Shots on targets, 9-3. Big chances, 7-1. Accurate passes, 658 to 306. And fouls committed, 10-9. Inter Miami, and PSG on the corner battle, 7-3. As we look at those shots, as you look at shots inside the box, PSG at 14 to Inter Miami's 5. Passing wise, you look at total passes, 733 to 360. That's insane. Passes in their own half, 251 for PSG to 191 Inter Miami. Passes in the opposition half, 434 to 115. Great googly moogly. Inter Miami did win the accurate crosses battle 4-3, but touches in the opposition box, 45 for PSG to Inter Miami 17. In the tackles department defensively, Inter Miami won the tackles 114-12. Interceptions, PSG will take that 198. Clearances, obviously 10-6 Inter Miami. Duels. This is an interesting one, right? Duels won. Inter Miami 44, PSG 36. Ground duels won 37-34 Inter Miami. Aerial duels won 7-2. And so, yeah, I guess you can say that probably does reflect the fact that Inter Miami spent the entire match just defending for their lives. And the interesting thing is, I guarantee you, Inter Miami did not want to play in a low block. They wanted to get out and try to utilize space. But PSG essentially kept them in a low block and then literally just tortured them any which way but loose. But let's look at the upcoming matches here in the round of 16 as we have already laid out, that Palmeiras has already advanced to the quarterfinal, beating Botafogo 1-0. Chelsea advanced over Benfica 4-1, so Palmeiras and Chelsea will meet on Friday. Tomorrow, Inter takes on Fluminense of Brazil, and Man City takes on Al Hilal of Saudi Arabia. Obviously, PSG is already advanced. They'll take on the winner of Flamengo versus Bayern. That's today at 4. And there's a good chance this is going to be PSG Bayern in the quarterfinals, Real Madrid versus Juventus, and Dortmund versus Monterrey. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Inter beats Fluminense, and Man City will beat Al Hilal. The interesting one is going to be Bayern versus Flamengo. Flamengo of Brazil are a very, very, very good team. And the thing that I like about this is the Brazilian clubs have come to show up in this tournament. And they have already had some pretty interesting wins already, right? And I think there's this I hate to use this term, but I think there's an inferiority complex when it comes to South American sides, potentially Mexican sides, versus the English sides. I'll just say that, right? I don't necessarily know if the European sides necessarily take this tournament all that seriously. But that being said, the South American clubs definitely do. And it's a way for them to show that their leagues should not be ignored. That's 100% true. And so I would like to think that Fluminense and Flamengo are going to play hard. Now, the question is which one of those teams are capable of beating their opponent? Can Fluminense beat Inter Milan? I don't know. I don't think so. And can Flamengo give Bayern a run for their money? That's the interesting one, right? That's the interesting one. I'm going to say yes. I do think Flamengo can beat Bayern today at 4. That's going to be an interesting one. I do believe that Real Madrid beats Juventus, and I do think Dortmund beats Monterrey. So we'll see. We'll see. If I had to take a guess right now which team is going to win this, which team is going to come out of these brackets, I think that can Palmeiras beat Chelsea? Yes. So I think in the semifinals, it's going to be Man City versus Palmeiras of Brazil, and I think it's going to be PSG versus Real Madrid. And that's going to be an interesting one, right? PSG, Real Madrid in the semifinal. Can PSG beat the big bad Real Madrid? Maybe. But if you're asking me right now, which teams I can see in the final of this thing, yeah, probably Man City versus. It's either going to be Man City versus PSG or Real Madrid. I can't see Borussia Dortmund advancing, so we'll see, man. We'll see. All right, so that's going to do it for me for right now. I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. It's very crucial because, again, as this channel grows and it hits benchmarks, man, I'm going to do my best to make sure that I take care of you guys. So, we're in this together, and I do appreciate it, man. The love for US soccer is there. And I would be absolutely grateful if those sub numbers go up. So definitely hit the subscribe button, definitely hit the like button. And also remember, tonight, the U.S. men's national team does return its quarterfinal action against Costa Rica. And this is an absolute monster test for this U.S. team. And as you know, there's a lot of players that are not in the Gold Cup this summer that elected to rest their bodies this summer in preparation of the 2026 World Cup. That left Mauricio Pochettino with, essentially a squad of MLS players. Now, there are some European players, some very good European players on the squad. But that being said, or European-based players, but for the most part, it's a majority MLS squad. And they took care of their business in the group play. 9 points out of 3 matches. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. The only benefit for the U.S. team so far is the fact that Costa Rica is going to be without their 2 best forward outfield players, as they collected yellow cards in their last match, so they're not going to be available for tonight. So there's going to be a room and opportunity for the U.S. men's national team to advance to the semifinal, which I think we all agree is going to be Canada. So that's going to be tonight at 7:00 Eastern, I believe midnight UK time. For those UK fans that do appreciate it, you're more than welcome to to hop in and be a part of the broadcast, because I'll tell you what, man, the U.S. men's national team, it's something special. So I hope to see you guys tonight. Thank you guys again. And, it was this match was an obvious one from an American standpoint because of Inter Miami. But I think when, we looked at this one from front to back, we probably understood how this thing was going to play out. So I do want to thank you guys. And I will see you guys tonight at 7. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon, and thank you again. Have a great Sunday, guys.
Rusted goalposts under fading skies, tattered flags waving dreams.